storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
So y'all know we had to come and talk about this Andrew Gillum situation and the fact that he has come out to the world as bisexual. Does it matter to y'all? Would you ever be with a man that's bisexual? And should we even care what our politicians do in the bedroom as long as they not on no R. Kelly stuff? I say this. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the interview and just tell me in the comments below what you think. Okay, so now I wanted to start off before I review this interview by saying that we cannot deny the accomplishments of this black man. He's very intelligent. He raised himself up by the bootstraps. Now, with that being said, he lost the election. He lost the election by less than 0.5%. Okay, and once he lost the election, he basically went into what we know as a depression. Now, he didn't have the words for it back then. He couldn't quite understand why he kept having these dark thoughts and like a dark cloud over him, and he only felt and found comfort in the bottle. And it turns out he comes from alcoholism. His father was an alcoholic. A lot of us got alcoholics in our families. A lot of us are borderline alcoholics ourselves. And what we know is that when a person is addicted to alcohol, it's one of the hardest substances to actually get off of, because your body gets so used to it and your body really craves it. And when you try to draw back from it, you go through withdrawal. Started drinking a lot. He really started becoming someone that his wife did not recognize. And normally, Andrew is very disciplined, very put together, but for some reason he could not handle this loss when he didn't win that governor's seat. And to me, what I really think it was is that he not only lost the election, but he also felt like he let a lot of people down. And I think that he's someone that's been a people pleaser his whole life, and he's used to achieving a lot of things and achieving everything he goes for. And the one thing he really wanted, he didn't get. And instead of dealing with his feelings and going to talk to someone to process his emotions of such a traumatic loss, he just didn't do it. He just dealt with it by the bottle, with the bottle. He just drunk and drunk and drunk and kept drinking and kept drinking. And this is how he got in the situation that his ass is in today. I had to sit back and realize how many black men are actually walking around depressed right now, but we don't give them the safe space to be able to simply say, I'm hurt, I need to cry, I need to vent, without making them feel bad about who they are. Like, do we really do that for our black men in our families? Think about your fathers. Think about your uncles. Think about your brothers. Think about your husbands and boyfriends. Think about how they act when they go through things and they don't process their emotions. They might have been abusive. They might have been a drunk. They might have been an alcoholic. They might have just left their families. And a lot of times they exhibited these negative behaviors simply because they felt like they didn't have a safe space to go and talk to someone. And to keep it real, black people in therapy, we don't do and we don't approve of. Not all, but definitely the men and the women from Andrew's generation. They just grew up where you just need to pray it away. You need to be a man about it. You need to shrug it off. You need to deal with it. And I just think that had he went to go talk to somebody, he wouldn't have ended up in the position that he was in. So now let's talk about the event, which is actually what we're all here for. How did he end up in the hotel room with a gay man who just happened to be a damn escort? So here's the thing. Andrew says that he was actually in Miami for a wedding, but he happened to arrive in Miami a couple of days before his wife and his friends. Now, are you tired of being fat as hell? Are you sick of your breasts hitting your lap when you sit down? Are you embarrassed every time you go out and people think you pregnant, but you really not? You just had a big burrito last night. If you were going through them problems, and guess what? I got a solution for you, and your solution is going to be found in NUTRABURST. Now, before you get mad, let me let you know, in addition to using NUTRABURST products, you're going to need a healthy caloric deficit diet. But one of my favorite products that NUTRABURST offers is called Resolution Drops and Life Drops. And I'm telling you, they help me not eat as much because, you know, I'm a cookie monster. I'm a slave to that pata monster. So if you a slave to the pasta and the cookies like me, get you some Resolution and some Life Drops. My link is in the description box below. But he got there a day early, and of course he's still dealing with depression. He's not processing his feelings in a healthy way. So what does he do? He goes to the bar and he gets really drunk. And while he's at the bar getting really drunk, guess what he does? He hits up a friend. But what's important to know about this friend is that they had met like 2 months prior to this whole situation going down in the hotel room. And that right there is struck a red flag for me. Now, personally, to me, this is something that Tamron missed, okay? But Andrew said he met this I'm just saying the white man. He met the white man out in public, and the white man actually sought Andrew out and came to him on some stuff like, I love what you're doing out here. You know, I love how you're trying to help the people. Just acting like he really wanted to be Andrew's friend. Now, did it ever get sexual? Andrew alludes to it never being sexual, that they were only friends. But keep in mind, Andrew's a bisexual man. The white man is gay. What more y'all got to talk about like that? You know, and what made you so comfortable with this gay man that you left the bar when you were intoxicated to go to the hotel room of a man you had only knew for 2 months to just hang out? I'm just saying. If Andrew really just went to that hotel room to hang out, why couldn't they just meet at another bar? Why couldn't they stay in public? Why did they have to go to the hotel room? But anyway, okay. So he hits up the friend. Friend is like, hey, come to the hotel room. He goes over there, and the reason why I'm so suspicious of this whole situation is because Andrew being bisexual was something that might have been news to the majority of America, but it was not news to people in politics, and it was not news to people that was close to him and that knew him. Okay, I had done a little research on Andrew, and apparently people knew he was bisexual since he went to college in Florida. Like, everybody knew his tea. There was nothing about this that surprised anybody that went to school with him. It just so happened that basically if you weren't from Florida, you didn't know. Now, I do have to check everybody and say this, because a lot of people want to say that Andrew was on a DL. That's not what the DL is. See, none of your business is not down low, and that's something that a lot of y'all got misconstrued and twisted, and you need to get it together. Just because somebody don't disclose something to you, especially when they don't owe you anything because they're not sleeping with you, they have no kind of connection to you, it does not mean that they're down low. Nobody has to know. No, that's not what that means. That just means it's none of your business. Now, straight people, do you tell everybody everything that you do in the bed? Of course you don't, okay? You ain't gonna walk in the room and say you swallowed gallons of cum last night. You're not gonna do that. So he's not gonna tell you he swallowed gallons of cum either. Anyway, I just truly feel like the white man was a plant and was sent there by his opposition to ruin him. Because Andrew might have lost this previous election by 0.5%, but you best damn believe when the next election came up, Andrew would have definitely knocked that shit out of the park had it not been for this damn scandal. Okay, so he goes to meet the white man. Andrew goes into the hotel room. He takes a drink. No word on did he watch the white man make?
Are you a bad bitch? Are you a bad bitch? Are you a bad bitch? Is you a savage?
Well, whether you are a bad bitch or a savage or whatever you want to call yourself, I am here to talk to you today about a book called Bad Bitches and Perfect Pitches that is authored by Precious Williams. One of the biggest differences between you and your competition in any facet of your life is the fact that they know how to effectively communicate and you don't. See, in this world, you don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the prettiest, you don't have to have the most money, but you do have to be able to sell yourself. Now, Precious Williams comes from the inner city of St. Louis, and she, in her book, has shown you how to elevate your life by using the gift of gab, using your words, using communication. Bad Bitches and Power Pitches. If you're trying to sell a book to someone, if you're trying to work on your elevator pitch for a meeting at work, if you're trying to elevate your career, if you're trying to bring clients into your business, and just to learn how to effectively communicate out in the world, then you can definitely benefit from this book. Now, Precious Williams' book has been featured on Forbes, CNN, LinkedIn, Black Enterprise, and more. It can be found at www.perfectpitches by Precious. Now go ahead and buy today so you can be on your way to being a bad bitch with the perfect pitch. He says all he remembers is taking a drink and then waking up and the police were there. And at that point of the story, I knew that a lot of people are not gonna believe that. Y'all gonna believe they had sex, they ran trains, they did this, that, and the third. But here's the thing, I can truly believe that Andrew doesn't remember what happened, because it's very possible that he could have been slipped a Mickey or roofie, a date rape drug or whatever. And keep in mind, with these date rape drugs, they're typically out of your system in like 3 days anyway. So it's very possible that when he went to that hotel room and he took a drink from that white man, that white man had put something in it to knock him out, make him sick, and ultimately frame him. Now, here's the thing. Andrew went in that room to see one friend. It ended up being two other men. It ended up being another man in there that Andrew was not aware of, once he woke up or whatever. And so, do I believe that Andrew had intentions to have sex with the white man when he went to the hotel room? I don't know, but I believe that Andrew doesn't even know what intentions he has. Because if you listen to the interview, Andrew says he was very intoxicated. And so the thing is, when you're intoxicated, you don't know what you really went there for. But I know what the white men had on their mind. And so while Andrew was passed out, did they probably take advantage of Andrew in a sexual way? Yes, I truly believe so. However, Andrew put himself in that position. So then he wakes up, the police is there, they let him leave, they let him go home, and now he has to deal with the aftermath. So now let's get to the part that people really want to know about, the part that went viral, the fact that Andrew said, yes, I am bisexual. He didn't say it with that damn... He didn't say it with that kind of intensity, but y'all know what I mean, okay? So he said, yes, I'm bisexual. It's a way that I've been for a while. Yes, my wife knew, and it just was what it was. And like I just told y'all, this is not something that's news to me. I always tell people there are a lot of people in the world that are actually bisexual, male and female. They just don't disclose it to the public. And so at the end of the day, for that to be the headline and for that to be such a big deal to people means that us as Americans, and especially us as Black Americans, are not being as honest with ourselves as we should be on how we really feel about LGBTQIA plus people. Because if we were truly accepting and we truly didn't care what people did in their bedrooms, number one, this story would have never went viral. Number two, y'all wouldn't be dragging him because he's bisexual. You wouldn't be calling him on the DL. It wouldn't be a big deal. Y'all always telling people to come out, telling people to be honest, but every time they do, whether they do by choice or by force, they get dragged for filth. And they get dragged for filth because, especially us as Black Americans, I can't speak for nobody else, a lot of us just have a lot of, I don't want to say homophobia. Let's talk about that word too. Homophobia is actually not used, and biphobia is not used correctly, because that would literally mean you're scared of that person. And I don't believe that people are walking around being like literally scared of a homosexual or a bisexual person. But there needs to be another word for it. But basically, Black folks ain't rocking with that shit like that. They just not. And they can act like they are, but the proof is in the pudding, okay? Because his political career is pretty much over unless he makes a lot of changes. So now let's talk about their relationship, okay? This is Andrew's relationship and his wife's. Like I told you guys, she has known from when they started dating that he was bisexual, but just like they said in their interview, Andrew told her, I choose you. And this is what I believe. I don't believe that Andrew and his wife are swingers. I don't believe that his wife agreed to let him sleep with men on the side as long as nobody found out. I don't believe anything like that. I believe for all intents and purposes, they had a regular marriage. What I do believe is that when Andrew got with RJ, that's her name, when he got with RJ, he simply told her, look, that was my past. I'm not going back to that. I don't do that anymore, and I choose you. I believe that's how that conversation really went. And so she believes she really had a man that was for her and only wanted her. And that's the best way I can put that. But I will say now that obviously their relationship is very strained. I do believe that if they did not have children and if they had not been together for so long, RJ would pack her bags and leave. But she's deciding to stick by his side, at least for now. And to me, that is what you call true love. Okay? True love is unselfish. True love is saying, even though I might be disappointed in you, I might be embarrassed, I'm not gonna leave you at your lowest. And that's exactly what his wife doing. She's sticking by his side. Now, I do gotta say she's better than most, because most women, after something like that would have came out, they would have definitely bounced. But she's deciding to stick with him. And ultimately, that's what people need in life. True love. And so will they stay together long term? I don't know. But I will say this. If they happen to get a divorce, Andrew's not going to marry another woman. The next person he's with will definitely be a man. And so that's that. And so I sat back and thought to myself, I said, does Andrew have a chance in politics at this point? And I'm going to say yes. Before he gets reelected for anything else, a lot of time is going to have to go by, but what Andrew is going to have to do is really embrace the LGBT community. And he's going to have to embrace the black and the white LGBT voters. That is what's going to get Andrew into the governor's seat. Because you got to understand, when it comes to politics, everybody plays a role, okay? Like Barack Obama, you know, he was the first black president, and this was a black family. He ain't black, but whatever. But when it came to Andrew Gillum, it was presented as, oh my God, this is a soft-spoken, well-spoken, black, intelligent guy with a black family. They ain't mixed, they black. You know, it represents us. He is going to have to embrace the black and the white LGBT voters, okay? Because those are the people that are really going to have his back. At this point, a lot of the black Christian communities, and maybe even white Christians too, are going to back off of him because they don't agree with that lifestyle that he's living. They're just not going to agree with that, and they're not going to like the fact that a man that also likes men is still married to a woman. That's going to bother a lot of people. And so I just feel like he does still have a future, but it's going to be a while. And in the meantime, Andrew needs to use this time to work on his marriage, work on his family, and most of all, work on himself. Now, to conclude this video, I wanted to leave you guys with a few talking points, and maybe we can expand on this in another live. Number one, are there any correlations between trauma and sexuality? We have to acknowledge is that there's definitely a correlation between kids that grow up in homes with abuse, molestation, alcoholism, drug use, and them living alternative sexual lifestyles. The second, a lot of you guys are going to comment and say, why didn't he just tell us? Why didn't he keep it real from the jump? And honestly, that man didn't come out and tell you guys from the beginning that he was bisexual with a wife and kids, because honestly, a lot of people are not rocking with that like that. A lot of people do not like that lifestyle. They don't agree with it. They hate it. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of people hate that shit. But it's not PC, and it's not politically correct to say those type of things out loud. You can lose your job, you can lose your careers for saying stuff like that out loud. But the majority of people really don't, and especially when you black, there aren't any really safe spaces for black people, and for black people to be bisexual and still have normal relationships. Like it's a lot when it comes to sexuality that us as a people, we're just very small-minded about. The Bible has a lot to do with that, and I feel like in order for us to move forward as a race, and in order for us to actually allow people to be open and honest about themselves and about what they like and what they like to do, we have to create spaces for them to do it where there's no judgment. Like, we got to get to a point to where people don't even have to come out because it's just not a big deal. If a person likes transgenders, that's your business. If whatever you do, if you a swinger, if you have an open marriage, that's your business. Like, I think when it comes to, us as a people, we really have to become open-minded about it because everybody doesn't fit in a box. The reason why I feel like a lot of people are really dragging him is because ultimately they're disappointed that once again, the black man has let us down, okay? Normally, well, first of all, it's not even really normal to see a black man, black woman, married, with children, God-fearing. We don't see that a lot anymore in this country. We see most kids, and I think it's like 76% of black kids that are actually born into, non-married homes. And so to see a black family, a undeniable black family, okay, and a man that loves his wife, and he's not abusing her, and he's not on drugs, and he's well-spoken, it's like, I feel like us as black people were looking for someone to represent us and say, yes, like, that's the black family. That's who we can look to. That's what we want to see for us. And just when you thought that, they had everything together, it turns out he's bisexual. And so it kind of knocks him down off of his pedestal in the eyes of a lot of black people. And black people are disappointed. And that's why he's getting dragged the way that he is. If it ain't the man cheating on a woman, it's him sleeping with another man. And we, just so happen to touch on both of those things at one time. And so at the end of the day, let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments if you guys would like to have this discussion going forward or have a live about it, and just be open and honest. Would you date a bisexual man? Would you be okay with this? Do you believe anything that he said? let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, and I will catch you guys later.
Asia, your skin looks amazing. What are you doing?
Thanks, girl. I discovered these life-changing products called Shaw's Creations. I've been using their toning up package, and it has really made a big difference. And they have products for everyone. So if you have dark spots, stretch marks, acne, pimples, sun damage, psoriasis, eczema, or age spots, anything, they have products for you. So you should call them today.
I'm going to call right now.
Call 240-288-3414. That's 240-288-3414. Or visit shawscreation.com.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.